Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, The son of Drona punished. Shlok 10. Suta Uvacha Atmaramascha Munayo Nirgrantaha Apyurukrame Kurvantya Haituki Bhaktim Itham Bhutaguno Harihi. Translation. All different varieties of Atmarams, especially those established on the path of self realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this Atmaram Shloka very vividly before his chief devotee Srila Sanatan Goswami. He points out 11 factors in the shloka, namely Atmaram, Munaya, Niragrantha, Api, Cha, Urukrama, Kurvanti, Hayatukim, Bhaktim, Itam Bhuta Gunaha, Hariha. According to the Vishwa Prakash Sanskrit Dictionary, there are 7 synonyms for the word Atmaram, which are as follows: Brahman, the absolute truth; body, mind, endeavor, endurance, intelligence, and personal habits. The word Munaya refers to those who are thoughtful, those who are grave or silent, ascetics, the persistent, mendicants, sage, and sons. The word Nirgrantha conveys this idea: one who is liberated from nescience, one who has no connection with scriptural injunction, that is, who is freed from the obligation of the rules and regulations mentioned in the revealed scriptures like ethics, Vedas, philosophy, psychology, metaphysics, etc. In other words, the fools, illiterate, urchins, etc., who have no connection with regulative principles, a capitalist, and also one who is penniless. According to the Shabdakosh dictionary, the affix ni is used in the sense of certainty, counting, building, and forbiddance, and the word grantha is used in the sense of wealth, thesis, vocabulary, etc. The word Urukrama means the one whose activities are glorious. Krama means step. This word Urukrama specifically indicates the Lord's incarnation as Vaman, who covered the whole universe by immeasurable steps. Lord Vishnu is powerful and his activities are so glorious that he has created the spiritual world by his internal potency and the material world by his external potency. By his all pervading features, he is everywhere present as the Supreme Truth, and in his personal feature, he is always present in his transcendental abode of Goloka Vrindavan, where he displays his transcendental pastimes in all varieties. His activities cannot be compared with anyone else, and therefore the word Urukrama is just applicable to him only. According to Sanskrit verbal arrangement, Kurvanti means to do things for someone else. Therefore, it means that the Atmaram render devotional service unto the Lord not for personal interest but for the pleasure of the Lord. Urukrama. Hetu means casual. There are many causes for one's sense satisfaction, and they can be chiefly classified as material enjoyment, mystic powers, and liberation, which are generally desired by progressive persons. As far as material enjoyments are concerned, they are innumerable, and the materialists are eager to increase them more and more because they are under the illusory energy. There is no end to the list of material enjoyments, nor can anyone in the material universe have all of them. As far as the mystic powers are concerned, they are eight in all, such as to become the minutest in form, to become weightless, to have anything one desires, to lord it over the material nature, to control other living beings, to throw earthly globes in outer space, etc. These mystic powers are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. The forms of liberation are five in number. Therefore, unalloyed devotion means service to the Lord without desire for the above mentioned personal benefits, and the powerful personality of Godhead Sri Krishna can be fully satisfied by such unalloyed devotees free from all sorts of desires for personal benefit. Unalloyed devotional service of the Lord progresses in different stages. Practice of devotional service in the material field is of 81 different qualities, and above such activities there is the transcendental practice of devotional service, which is one and is called sadhana bhakti. When an allied practice of sadhana bhakti is matured into transcendental love for the Lord, the transcendental loving service of the Lord begins gradually, developing into nine progressive stages of loving service under the headings of attachment, love, affection, feelings, affinity, adherence, following ecstasy, and intense feelings of separation. The attachment of an inactive devotee develops up to the stage of transcendental love of God. Attachment of an active servitor develops up to the stage of adherence, and that for a friendly devotee develops up to the stage of following, and the same is also the case for the paternal devotees. Devotees in conjugal love develop ecstasy up to the stage of intense feelings of separation. These are some of the features of unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. According to Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya, the import of the word Itham Bhuta is complete bliss. Transcendental bliss in the realization of impersonal Brahman becomes comparable with the scanty water contained in the pit made by a cow's hoof. It is nothing compared to the ocean of the bliss of the vision of the personality of Godhead. The personal form of Lord Shri Krishna is so attractive that it comprehends all attraction, all bliss, and all taste. These attractions are so strong that no one wants to exchange material enjoyment, mystic powers, and liberation for them. There is no need of logical arguments in support of this statement, but out of one's own nature one becomes attracted by the qualities of Lord Shri Krishna. We must know for certain that the qualities of the Lord have nothing to do with mundane qualities. All of them are full of bliss, knowledge, and eternity. They are innumerable qualities of the Lord, and one is attracted by one quality while another is attracted by another. Great sage, such as the four bachelor devotees Sanak, Sanatana, Sananda, and Sanat Kumar, are attracted by the fragrance of flowers and tulsi leaves anointed with the pulp of sandalwood offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, Sukadeva Goswami was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami was already situated in the liberated stage, yet he was attracted by the pastimes of the Lord. This proves that the quality of his pastimes has nothing to do with material affinity. Similarly, the young cowherd damsels were attracted by the bodily feature of the Lord, and Rukmini was attracted by hearing about the glories of the Lord. Lord Krishna attracts even the mind of the goddess of fortune. He attracts in special cases the minds of all young girls. He attracts the minds of the elderly ladies by paternal affection. He attracts the minds of the male in the humorous of servitude and friendship. The word Hari conveys various meanings, but the chief import of the word is that he, the Lord, vanquishes everything inauspicious and takes away the mind of the devotee by awarding pure transcendental love. By remembering the Lord in acute distress, one can be free from all varieties of miseries and anxieties. Gradually, the Lord vanquishes all obstacles on the path of devotional service of a pure devotee, and the result of 9 devotional activities, such as hearing, chanting, etc., becomes manifested. By his personal features and transcendental attributes, the Lord attracts all psychological activities of a pure devotee. Such is the attractive power of Lord Krishna. The attraction is so powerful that a pure devotee never hankers for any one of the 4 principles of religion. These are the attractive features of the transcendental attributes of the Lord, and adding to these the words api and cha, one can increase the imports unlimitedly. According to Sanskrit grammar, there are 7 synonyms for the word api. So, by interpreting each and every word of this shlok, one can see unlimited numbers of transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna that attract the mind of a pure devotee.